Hello everybody, welcome back to Road Reg. On today's video, I am going to have a bit of a chat to you guys about why I still have my M140i. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I was thinking the other day, I've had this car for a long time, and you guys who have been following the channel since the start might be wondering why I still have this car. Why haven't I got something else? Because I get very attached to cars, and there's a reason for that. And trust me, I have thought about other cars, but there's just something about this 1 Series, and that is what we're going to discuss today. So let's hop inside and take this car for a spin. I've had this car for a long time. There's been some days where I've gone, you know what? Maybe it's a bit too much. 350 horsepower. You're up to the speed limit very quickly and beyond. Right now, in this nice, just sort of coming into summer weather, I think it's just right. 350 brake horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque. Do you really need any more? Let's be honest, you don't actually need that much power on the road. I reckon the sweet spot would be 250 horsepower. 350 horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque. With these tyres, the Michelin Pilot Sport 5s, in my opinion, is perfection, right? On the public road. And when I say perfection, I'm not saying this car is perfect and it's better than everything else, because trust me, it is not perfect. It's far from perfect. And there are much nicer cars than this car that are available and out there, but of course they cost a lot more money. And actually, talking of progression, where do you go from an M140i? You could go up to an M2 competition, but that's a very hardcore M car in comparison to the M140i, but it's also a little bit more expensive. Or you could go down the M340i route. Now they are coming down in price now. You can get a saloon M340i for as little as 26 grand. Now, I say as little as 26 grand, but personally I think for the amount of car you're getting for 26 grand, that is an absolute bargain. 380 horsepower, 500 newton meters, the B58 TU2, which is the technical update to the B58 that's in the M140i. So a little bit more power, same torque, sounds a little bit different with a little bit more top end. But most importantly, you've got the updated G Series interior, which is nicer than this interior, because this interior is right at the end of the F Series range. And I personally think that the G Series interior is much nicer and more fresher and modern than the F Series interior. So, you know, you're going to have a car that's a bit more future-proof than this car, because this car is starting to look or feel a little bit outdated. This is an LCI2 Shadow Edition, so you have got the sort of half digital, half analog dials and the slightly different dash here. But fundamentally, these seats, for example, and the centre console, but pretty much everything is the same as a BMW F21 series. So it's getting on a bit, and I believe the F20 came out in 2011, 2012, and we're now in 2025. So yeah, this interior is starting to feel a little bit dated, and the M340i is naturally going to feel much more modern and fresh. But most importantly, that car has xDrive. So I think the natural progression from an M140i would be an M340. You would need a little bit more money to get to that level, but you're getting a hell of a lot of a car. Now, I personally love a touring, and I would love an M340i touring, but for some reason, I mean, I think I get it, they're a lot more, they seem to be more desirable than the saloons, and they're a lot more expensive. So if you want to get an M340i touring, you're looking in the mid-30s. But for 10 grand less, you know, the very maximum, you can get the same car in the saloon variant. I think an M2 Comp is an absolutely tremendous car, and I've driven that car on track. But even that inside feels very similar to the 1 Series. The only difference is the steering wheel. I think the leather is a little bit nicer. It has different stitching and a different bit here. But the seats are the main thing that are different. You get the sort of bucket style seats, but the rest of the car is kind of like this. But You're getting a car that is built to perform, and it's a pretty hard cut car. As a driving machine, I think it's tremendous. The 140 is going to be the nicer daily, the more comfortable ride. If you're commuting in your car and you just have one car, you're going to be better off and more comfortable in the M140i. I've thought about changing it. I've looked at Golf GTIs, BMW 530Ds, and cheaper performance cars at around the 8 to 10 grand mark. I'm still tempted by a 5 Series. It's bigger, more comfortable, and still quick. The 540i with the B58 engine stood out, but it's way over budget. Even a 530D, the cheapest 6-cylinder G Series you can get, starts at around 24 grand. And being a diesel, it needs long commutes to avoid DPF issues, and my daily commute is just too short for that. I even considered buying cheaper and upgrading, but by the time I get it to my standard, it just wouldn't make sense to me financially. I wouldn't have much money left. That's why, even now, keeping the M140i is the right move, I think. Let's get deeper into that. On a day like today, this is where the M140i really shines. Beautiful sunny weather, dry tarmac, heaps of grip. I mean, look, let's do a little launch here. I've got to be careful because there's a bend up there, so I'm not going to go crazy. Ready? Whew! Let's do that again. Should we brake boost it? There we go. Gee whiz, that really hooked up, baby! Woo! Wow! People say that BMWs that are rear-wheel drive don't launch well, but I think in the right circumstances they can. If you've got the right tyre, it's the right day on the right tarmac. But hey, look, that's part of the fun, isn't it? If you get a Golf R, I know I always bring this up, but I use it as a reference because it's kind of the main competing car to this. It's either a Golf R or an M140i, right? You know, they're similar power, similar performance figures, just they do it in different ways. In a Golf R, you can put your foot down anywhere and you know it's going to go. And that is awesome. Amazing. I know that this car's going to perform all the time, any day, any weather. But where's the fun in that? This car, you got to think about what you're doing, where you're putting your foot down, what are the road conditions like. You just know that it's going to grip and go. Obviously, there's a limit where you do have to think about the conditions, and you should always be thinking about the conditions when you're driving and what's going on around you. That's just part of being a good, aware driver. If you wanted to put your foot down on a rainy day in a Golf R, you know that it's going to perform, you know that it's going to just go. And that means it works all year round, which is great if you just want a car that you can kind of forget about and not really sort of think about too much what you're doing. But with this, you got to think about where you're putting your foot down. How fast am I going into this corner? Is that the right speed? And then you got to think about feeding the power back in. This is a rear-wheel drive car, you know, it's not X-Drive or anything like that. And that's something for me that I really enjoy personally. It makes you feel more satisfied when you are pushing on because you're not just relying on the car for its mechanical grip. You're actually driving the car within its limits and sort of working it safely and getting the best out of it with your right foot and your steering input. I don't know about you guys, but there's something cool about the way this car looks. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me in the comments because looks are subjective. Some people absolutely despise the way the 1 Series looks, and I get it. For me personally, I think it's a cool looking car. I just think, especially with the lowering springs and the spacers, back in the day it was called the Motec stance, I just think it looks pretty cool. I mean, let's just look at that. I haven't parked it in the best spot. I mean, look at that lip there. Don't know if you can see that, but I'm sort of in the middle of nowhere. It's just got a really beefy rear end. Love the twin exit pipes. And I do think Alpine White is, in my opinion, the best colour for this M140i. I mean, I would say that because the truth of the matter is I really wanted mineral grey. I think mineral grey is a great colour, but with the Orbit Grey alloys, I think it clashes a little bit. And also, when grey gets dirty, it doesn't look the best, and grey is the colour of the tarmac. So, yeah, it's a tough one. It kind of blends into the road, mineral grey, which is a good thing. I still think that colour is a nice colour, and I would have liked it, but I guess I've just kind of convinced myself that it isn't, and white is the best colour. I mean, I didn't have a choice of colour. I picked this car up pre-registered, and they actually had 3 white ones. I think all 3 doors, 3 white, all the same spec. And you know what? In the Shadow Edition trim with the darkened tail lights, I just think it looks great. And having that sort of lowered stance, I mean, look at that. There's a coolness about it. In a car park, you park next to a brand new BMW. It's big, because they're really big these days, all of them. And you park your little 1 Series next to it, and you're like, oh, look at me in my 1 Series, and you're up there in your 120 grand X5. But I still think this holds its own, especially as an M140i and with the Shadow Edition. And if you get the lowering springs and spacers, it just gives this car a nice aggressive stance that's actually quite subtle, but on the road and when it's parked up, I think it looks fairly, you know, mean, especially from the front. Let's have a look at the front. Now, many people on these cars changed the canards to black. I kept these ferric silver or ferric grey. I think it's ferric grey, because the problem is with a white car, if you change those black, they then blend into the grills, and it's quite hard to tell if it's a 140. But I think that is a big aspect of what gives this car away. You see that, and you just know straight away that that's not a 120D. I've had this car for a long time. I still have it. I've invested a lot of money into getting this car how I want it to be, and I find it hard to get rid of it. If this car was worth 10 grand more, I would probably be more inclined to sell it and get something different. But if I wanted to get something as good as this or beyond, I'd have to sell it and add money to it. And I don't really want to spend any money on cars at the moment. It's very easy to just assume that everyone on YouTube can just sell and buy what they want, you know, and money is no object. But, you know, it is, unfortunately. Seven years on, and the M140i still keeps me smiling. A straight 6 in a hatchback is a rare thing today, but it's the character that really stands out. It's the way it sounds, the way it feels, and at the time, it was the lightest car you could get with the B58 engine in it. And now, compared to most cars in 2025, performance cars in particular, it still feels lightweight and lively. It's relatively inexpensive to run, it handles brilliantly, especially on a day like today, and it still gives you that proper rear-wheel drive feel. Sure, cars like the Golf R and the newer M135i might handle sharper on paper and offer better all-weather grip with 4-wheel drive, but they don't deliver the same connection or excitement behind the wheel, in my opinion. And it's because of that wonderful 6-cylinder engine and rear-wheel drive. I'd love a 5 Series with a B58 in it one day, but the jumping cost is a big one. For now, the M140i gives me everything I need: fun, practicality, and real character, and that's why it still makes sense in 2025. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you made it to the end of this video and you watched it all the way through, I very much appreciate your attention. But if you didn't, that's okay too. I must apologise for the change of outfit. I had to film this video on 2 separate occasions, hence the slight shift in outfit. I've pulled over because it's a hot day and I've been pounding the M140i to get some sweet B-roll shots for you. And I thought I'd pop the bonnet and let the B58 breathe, because she's been working hard. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments below what you think the successor is to this car. Is it still relevant in 2025? Let me know your thoughts on that. I'd love to hear them, and I will do my best to respond to all your comments. And again, thanks very much. Don't forget to subscribe to Road Reg, and I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.